we're going to talk about we're going to audit the assessor from the town of Cape Vincent, but also we are going to audit the state small claims assessment review hearing officer, William Ramseier, and how he handles his hearings. And so I'm just going to give you an introduction so that you know what it is that you're looking at when you watch the video that's to come. We're in the state office building in Watertown, and the assessor from the town of Cape Vincent is going to be there, as well as two of my clients. And so I go into the courtroom, and I'm video recording. And it had been established prior to this that he wasn't going to allow video recording. In fact, he wasn't going to allow any recording. But after going back and forth with the administrative judge, he finally agreed to allow the hearing to be audio recorded, and I'll be providing that in a separate, video. And but what we have here is what transpired up until the point we started the hearing. And what I'm doing is I'm asking him to explain himself as to why we cannot video record this hearing. And what it is that I've told him is that in addition to representing my client, I'm also disseminating these materials for the public. And so I am essentially a member of the media, a member of the press. And the law clerk for the administrative judge, James P. Murphy, I think her name is Cedar, last name is Cedar. She says she wanted to see my press credentials, and they're like, who makes press credentials? Well, the press does. So what does she want me to do? Give her a business card? What they failed to understand is that everyone has First Amendment rights, but apparently they're not aware of that concept. So they represent state law. But what they don't realize is that their policies of their court do not supersede the Constitution of the United States, and I'm trying to explain that to them. And so, but anyway, in this hearing, you can't see it right now, but there's 3 police officers in this hearing. Now, I've been doing these hearings for 10 years in 17 counties, and I've never had a police officer in one of the hearings before. But today, we have 3. It appears to be the Blue Line Gang, who are a personal security for Mr. Ramsier. And I find it highly inappropriate. Essentially, these cops are getting closer and closer to me. They're attempting to intimidate me. And all I'm trying to do is execute my, constitutional rights to, the free press. And, they don't want to do that. He doesn't want to have the hearing recorded. He doesn't want to explain why he doesn't want it recorded. And I'm trying to get him, I'm putting him on notice that he's violating my constitutional right, and that I will turn the camera off if he will acknowledge that he's ordering me to do so. And basically what I'm letting him know is that any immunity that he may have, when he willfully violates my First Amendment right, I'm putting him on notice as to that fact. So that's the purpose of this video so far. And then, like I say, in a separate video will be the audio. I'll add some photos, but basically, all we have is audio of the hearing.
We'll go ahead into the courtroom.
Mr. Ramsier?
Mr. Franklin.
I'd like to keep the camera going until we start. I just want to discuss that before we get started with the hearing.
Well, you're not permitted to have a video recording of this proceeding.
Well, I don't want to record the proceeding. I want to record before the proceeding.
Well, you don't have.
And I want to discuss why you're denying my ability to do this. It should be for the record. I think the public should know. This is a precedent issue. If you deny people their right to record here, and you do have your court rules, but they do not trump the Constitution. I have First Amendment rights. So what I want from you is an explanation as to why I can't. And I'd like you to articulate that, because you can't just say it's so because you said so, which is kind of why we're here with the assessor, because she says it's so because she says so.
Okay, Mr. Franklin, I need to ask you to stop recording, please.
I'm willing to do that, but I want it to be very clear that you are ordering me to do so.
Mr. Franklin, if you wish to proceed with this hearing, you can stop the recording.
No. Are you ordering me to stop it?
I don't.
Or you will not have the hearing.
I'm telling you that if you wish to continue to record, then the hearing will not proceed.
Okay, so in other words, I just wanted this to be clear, because we're going to get to the bottom of this one way or another, whether it's today or another day. You are not going to allow me to record this hearing or any future hearings.
Mr. Franklin, it's not up to me. If you're not happy with the decisions that I make, there are legal recourses for your client to
Right,
take.
but the point is that you have 131.1C is a state regulation. It's a court regulation. It does not trump the Constitution. Constitution here.
Mr. Franklin, I'm
131C
just following
here.
the rules that I have laid out.
Okay,
before me.
so you're not going to have the hearing unless I turn this off.
It's your option. If you wish to have the hearing, you can turn off the recording. You may
No.
audio tape the
No,
recording.
no, you're the one making the choice.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
He's
sir.
told you you're not allowed to take.
That's not what he said. I want him to tell me to turn it off or we're not having the hearing.
Mr. Franklin, you understand what the situation is.
I do know what to
You
stand,
can
but I want you
choose
to articulate it, because you are responsible. You are willfully.
Mr. Franklin, I'm not
you-
going to argue with you, sir.
Of course you're not.
You're
You're
gonna-
going to
you
willfully deny me my First Amendment right.
You have a
I want
legal-
you to say that that's what you're doing.
Your clients have process if they wish to appeal any decision that I have made.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we settle things in court.
No, but I know that's how you do it. But are you saying you're not going to have the hearing unless we turn it off?
I've
Why can't he
articulated-
answer this question?
I've articulated the position,
Mm-hmm.
sir. And I'll ask you to please stop recording again.
Or you won't have the hearing?
Mr. Hamburg?
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Very good. And so, just trying to get to the bottom of it.
What the hearing officer was saying is that, if I had problems with the way he handles things, I could appeal the matter, on behalf of my clients, which, you'd have to go to state Supreme Court. I couldn't represent them there. You need to be an attorney. But my point is that I wasn't claiming that he was violating my First Amendment right, or my client's First Amendment rights. He was violating my First Amendment rights, so it has nothing to do with the appeal of this case. It has to do with the court violating my First Amendment right. So the issue isn't between my clients and the court; it's between me and the court, and that they're violating my freedom of speech, my freedom of press, and so that's what it is that I was getting at. And he kept reemphasizing that. We could appeal any decisions that he makes. Well, no, it's got nothing to do with appealing this case. It has to do with violating my First Amendment rights. It's a separate issue. And what I'm trying to do is put him on notice that, somehow, some way, we're going to get to the bottom of it. If we have to sue the court in order to, rectify this situation. I'm not certain how we're going to rectify this situation at this juncture. But we're going to get to the bottom of it one way or another. And what I was getting at is that Mr. Ramsier himself personally was violating my First Amendment right. He was willfully violating my First Amendment right to audio and video record this hearing. And so that's what the point of the matter was. As you can see, he likes to deflect, and he doesn't like to answer direct questions, such as, why is it that I can't audio and video record this hearing? And he doesn't want to answer that question. It's just a lack of transparency, lack of accountability. He likes to, it's so because he said so. That's how he rolls. And therein lies the problem. And we'll keep at it. So anyway, it's Mike Franklin, property tax guy, auditing the assessor in Cape Vincent and the small claims assessment review hearing officer, William Ramseier, who works for the state. He's a law clerk for a state Supreme Court judge. He's a town of justice for the town of Clayton, and is a hearing officer. He makes $146,000 a year as a law clerk, and he's moonlighting in these other positions, and it's creating conflicts, and it's problematic. Mike Franklin, the property tax guy.